Hello and welcome to Cash in the Celebrity Attic, the show that finds treasures hidden around the homes of the well-known and then helps them sell them at auction, and all for a good cause of their choice. Now, I tell you what, if you're a music fan, you're in for a real treat today. So who are we going to meet today? Well, she's one of our best-known female DJs. She's from Rochdale, and she followed in the steps of her famous broadcasting brother. She won all sorts of awards in the 90s, but her biggest radio show was with Bruno Brooks. Have you guessed who it is yet? Today I'm in Northamptonshire and I'm on my way to meet the radio DJ, Liz Kershaw.
I'm trying to complete a pop quiz for my work's Christmas do on Monday. Well...
Our celebrity today is known for her husky Lancashire voice and feisty approach. Liz Kershaw started her career on the Yorkshire Post as a pop journalist. It was a demo tape to Radio 1 that secured her a slot before the Sunday chart show Countdown. In the 80s, she became a household name when she paired up with Bruno Brooks on their popular weekend BBC radio show. And of course, her older brother Andy Kershaw is a well-known DJ and broadcaster as well. Today, Liz works at a more leisurely pace. She hosts a BBC Six music show in the afternoon. And this 400-year-old stone cottage in Northamptonshire is her lovely home. Coming up today, Liz blushes when she relives her rock and roll past.
I'll trust your judgment. Of all the pictures here, he picks that one.
But flattery doesn't get Paul anywhere.
Well, I must admit, it's very generous of you to donate something.
No,
like
that's it. No, wrong.
That's not going to go.
Leave my... No, never, ever.
There's no letting up on the banter between Paul and Liz on auction day.
There we go.
There is no accounting for taste.
And we go from 80s pop to 60s psychedelic.
Exactly, sort of thing you see Austin Powers would use, wouldn't it?
Groovy, baby.
Find out what happens when the hammer falls. Joining Liz today is her cousin Linda. They grew up together and are very close. Liz says that her career high has been meeting all her pop heroes, but she's quite a legend herself, so I'm looking forward to spending the day with her.
Liz, oh, look at this. Preparing to warm your bottom, Jenny.
That is lovely, because it's a bit blowy out there, I tell you, it really is. Thank you very much for inviting us.
Oh, you're welcome. You're doing me a favour, actually.
Are we?
I'm a complete junk shop junkaholic, so I've got boxes of stuff, and I think it's good that you're going to take some off today, and for a good cause.
And this is Linda, your cousin?
This is my cousin Linda.
Nice to meet you, Jenny. So you've got lots of stuff all around the house?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Loads of stuff. I don't know what's valuable, really, and what would sell it. I've never been to an auction. I've never... No, because I've always bought stuff, as you'll see. Yeah. Places rammed, but I've never actually sold anything, so I'm not sure what it'll fetch.
Well, let's hope we can at our auction. What are you going to be raising the money for?
Well, I recently did a programme from the Citizens Advice Bureau in Bedworth in Warwickshire. There are obviously branches all over the country, and it was quite heartbreaking. So many people are losing their jobs now. It can happen to any of us, and they're going there for advice on how to keep the homes, not have them repossessed, get rid of the creditors, and most of the people who work there are volunteers because everybody thinks it's government funded, but actually it's a registered charity.
I did. I thought it was government funded.
So they need resources, and so they can help more people because they're just queuing from the moment the doors open in the morning.
Brilliant. That's an unusual cause and a very worthwhile one. OK, how much? Has she got enough stuff to raise a few
I think
more?
we should get a few hundred, yeah.
OK.
We should do, hopefully.
What should we set as the target?
Well, I'd be really sad. I mean, a lot of it I think is rubbish, but I'd be really sad if we got less than 300. I'd be very happy if we got over 500.
OK.
But
we'll set the target, what, 300 to 400?
Yeah, OK.
Yeah.
All right, OK. Well, your house looks fantastic. I'm looking forward to finding all your bits and pieces. Should we go?
Yeah.
Let's rummage. Let's rummage.
Well, I've certainly learned a thing or two about Liz's chosen charity, and she's very committed to helping them out. So, with a target of £300, it's time for us to get down to work. Our antiques expert, Paul Hayes, is already busy. He's been involved in the business for more than 20 years. So I wonder what's caught his eye first.
I told
Julie was looking through your pictures.
Hello, hello.
What are you doing with my pictures?
Well, I found some nice pictures. Can any of those go? You know, we need as many items as we can. Really.
More or less anything, really, that's there. It's up to you to decide.
Well, there is a whole collection of items here. I mean, you've got some photographs, you've got some paintings, and you've got a caricature of you there. Where's that from?
Well, this one, no, I won't give this house room. This is me in the early 90s. Well, I did the Radio on Road show, and Wet, Wet, Wet was supposed to be our big band, and there were thousands of screaming girls there, big build-up, and then they rang up and said they were tired, so they didn't come. And I was really angry for him. The next day in the studio, my colleague put the Bruno Brooks put the new single on, and I took exception. I thought, I'm not playing this. They let the fans down. There was a piece of wood, for some reason, lying around in a BBC studio, 2x2. I picked it up, I whacked the record, the 7-inch vinyl. Unfortunately, underneath it was a £1,000 highly tuned broadcast turntable, and that all got wrecked, and the record was going... I think it helped because it was #1 for 16 weeks, you remember?
You've got almost a spitting image character here, and people love to buy into that sort of satire. I mean, caricatures and cartoons are always popular. You've got some original art here, you've got a major story that's happening, you've got a connection to yourself. It's a win-win situation, I
I think it's terribly generous of you, because that is a little bit of your history.
But it's horrible, I don't look like... Put it away!
Okay. What would your
Well, we'll put it in with a lowest estimate, sort of £50 to £80, and I think if on the day, if two people like it, I don't think it's going to break any more records anyway,
No.
but I think it could do all right.
OK, well, I'll be surprised if anybody gives anything, but I'll trust your judgment. Of all the pictures here, he picks that one.
I think it's the best fun, isn't it?
I guess we better keep on the right side of Liz today. She's also added a Radio 1 rugby shirt to the lot, so that should hopefully bump up the value. We're looking for £300, so we all split up and each take on various parts of the cottage. Liz wants to donate this cuckoo clock that she bought in Switzerland. It's pendulum-driven, with small bellows and pipes striking the hours, instead of a wire gong imitating a cuckoo's call. I'm sure it came in handy with the early wake-up calls during Liz's Radio 1 days, but now she can take life a little more easily, and with any luck, it'll bring us between £40 and £60. While I carry on rummaging, Liz and Linda have come across a piece of their childhood nostalgia.
You take that, I'm going to have to give Linda a tissue.
Yeah, oh my dear.
This is an emotional moment.
Oh my goodness, it is rather emotional.
Look at that. Why is it emotional? Is it something that you've bought?
Because it's
It's yours. And you all right? You're right about selling this?
Tell them.
It's a hand-me-down. Elizabeth used to get all my toys when we were younger, and she had my doll's house. And it had all kinds of things in, didn't it?
It's fantastic.
And this, I think the story is, Elizabeth's mum gave it away with all the stuff in it, and this is the only thing that survived.
But it had a bubble car. It was really 50s. It had a bubble car in the garage.
It was clockwork, and it was lime green, and you opened the wooden doors of the garage, and the bubble car was there. I wish the bubble car was still around.
This one's a nice little example, but I think there's probably more sentimental value.
I think so.
I mean, are you willing to part with it?
Yes, go on.
Cover your ears. Can we sell it?
I've managed without it all these years, so I'm sure.
She didn't know it was here. She said it's been here in a cupboard for 40 years.
I've managed without it all those years, so
right.
I think...
But the point, is it worth it? Is it worth it?
Well, it is. You know, I mean, a complete dresser. I mean, it's probably the cheapest one I've ever sold, but you know, it is a great example. It's tin plate. It's a toy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think realistically, you're looking £20, £30, maybe up to about 40. I mean, if that went into the auction, we sort of £20 to £50 estimate. I mean, how does that sound? Does that sound all right to you?
It does. If it helps people at the end of the day, that's fine.
Well, that's it. It's a bit of nostalgia, and I think.
It should be taken around the corner and punch him. Never mind, Linda. We'll go out and buy new dolls' house.
No, if it was a bubble car, I'd be slightly. I wouldn't part with the bubble car.
Well, do you know what? There must be rare examples. I mean, I think things like kitchen furniture. But if you bought something that was very 1950s, say the television set, or as I say, the bubble car, then that would have a real collectability. You know?
There was a television, Linda.
Come on, I've had enough now.
We can go on and on forever.
Today's search is throwing up all sorts of memories for Liz, but we'll need some real doll's house enthusiasts at the auction if we're to get a top price for this dinky dresser. This place is a joy to look around, and Liz wasn't joking when she said she had a lot of stuff to get rid of. Liz and Linda really seem to be enjoying themselves, and it's obvious that they get along like a house on fire.
I tell you, it's been very obvious to me as we rummaged around the house, that you two are very, very close, aren't you? I mean, you really are like sisters.
Well, it's 5 years between us.
Yeah.
And I've known Linda all my life. I don't know what she thought of me when I came along. But
What did you think of her when she came
Well,
along?
it was nice. I spent so much time with Elizabeth and the family when I was younger, and it was like having a little sister there and another little brother, you see, because I was, my sister and brother were a lot older than me, so it was nice to have the younger ones there. And
she was always, every Saturday morning, Linda would arrive at our house about 11.
Yeah.
We'd play all weekend. And then for holidays, she'd come with us, wouldn't you? Because her mum and dad and my grandma and granddad, same generation, had pubs, and another auntie had a pub. And when you're a landlord, you can't just walk off the job.
Yeah.
So Linda would come on holiday with us, and we had great times. We got all the photos of us, haven't we? With our
we used to set off. We'd have a repertoire in the car where we used to sing all the songs, in the car going up.
So tell me, what was it like having such famous cousins?
Oh, it was great. People would come to me and say, I saw your cousin on the TV last night. Yeah. And I was a bit, oh yeah, she's very good, isn't she? No, it was very good. And I used to keep an eye on her as well, I used to make sure she was all right.
Oh, like your big sister.
Well, I think I've done that all along.
Our family's never been like that. I mean, if you went home, if you did something, on the telly or in the media in that London, and you went home and you walked in and you were big time, you'd get slapped down.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't
straight
stand a
away.
chance.
You weren't doing a better job than somebody who was grafting, 10 hours a day in a factory or something. You weren't.
You weren't thought of any better.
That's what they're like, so it was no big deal.
You kept her
really.
grounded.
Yeah. They did.
Oh, yeah.
Well done.
I think it was the family that did that anyway.
Oh. Gosh, you two can really chat. It's lovely listening to you.
Liz has certainly kept her feet firmly on the ground throughout her showbiz career. Over the past 20 years, she's presented both morning and drive time shows, and she says her job is the best hobby ever. Music really is her passion. Linda's had a good look around the kitchen and digs out this melamine tea set. Their family loved to go caravanning when they were young, and these were the things to be seen with on any campsite. Melamine tableware became fashionable in the 1950s and 60s, but the tendency for it to scratch led to a decline in sales. Paul thinks this set is worth £20 to £30. Meanwhile, I find this Jack and Vera record. Liz Dawn and Bill Tarmy played the Duckworths in Coronation Street. Our Liz is a fan, and when they appeared on her radio show back in 1989, they signed this single. With any luck, it'll prove a hit at auction with its £40 to £60 estimate. There's no stopping Liz, and with a mountain of memorabilia to sort through, I'm glad she has a few firm favourites to show us.
This is Sylvia Anderson, creator of Lady Penelope's autobiography. She came on my show, and look, she signed it.
Oh, that's amazing, isn't it? Look at that.
To Liz, many thanks, Lady Penelope.
What was she like?
She's fantastic. She is Lady Penelope. I mean, she wasn't acting; it was her voice.
Really?
Absolutely her. And it's such. I used to get the comic when I was little and watch it all the time, and to meet her and to have her come in to the studio and it was Lady Penelope. I mean, she looks like the puppet was modelled on her image. So
you're a big fan?
Oh, absolutely. The only reason I'd part with this is because it's just too big. I don't have anywhere to put it. And I also know that these things are quite expensive, and so I think it, might raise quite a few bob.
Hey, what do you reckon, Paul?
Well, I think you're dead right, actually. I mean, you can't mention the 1960s without mentioning Thunderbirds. I think it was the programme, wasn't it, at the time?
We've got two signatures, because we've got Sylvia Anderson's signature, and Jerry Anderson actually put a certificate in here of authenticity to say, yeah, this is for real. So there we are.
Fantastic.
Parker. Me?
Yes, you. This is you.
See, it's never actually ever been out of the box.
Oh my
there we
goodness,
are.
fab.
Fab. What's really
That is
heavy.
amazing, isn't it? What a fantastic thing to have.
So what's it worth?
It's a wonderful thing. I think what we'll do, we'll put this in with a low estimate, give it a chance, and I think a Thunderbirds fan will go nuts for this. I really do. You've got a signed autobiography. I mean, I think you must be around the 150 mark. If I said sort of 100, 150, and I'm sure someone would love it. It's a fantastic thing. I'm very generous of you to give it.
Very generous. I'm very touched by the fact you're going to give that away. Okay, that's fantastic. 150. Is that okay with you?
Oh, well, it certainly bumps things up, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Good.
will do. Okay, right. Let's crack on. Let's
Okay,
go somewhere else.
fantastic.
Thunderbirds are go, and so are we. But when it gets to auction,
At 65, 70, 5, 80. There's 2 autographs on it. Could be 3 if Liz signs it as well.
Will it be FAB for our flamboyant pink car? The search goes on, and I'm rather pleased with this find, a pretty four-piece tea set tucked away in a box. It's made by Calden Potteries, who were based in Stoke from 1920 to 1962, and it's off to auction with a value of £20 to £30. Now, Liz obviously has an eye for quirky collectibles, as Paul is finding out.
Hey, Paul, I think you should sit down for this, because I think you're going to be excited. Now,
That's on my safe. What have we got here?
what would you do if I said to you, I want to hold your hand?
I'd either think you've gone mad or it's something to do with the Beatles.
Oh, well done, yeah, look at this.
Oh, look at that.
Imagine you're 15 or so in 1963 and you're going out to a gig and you get all ready. Look at this.
So where have you got these from?
I saw it at a car boot or something, and I thought, that's going to be worth 20 quid, isn't it? So that's what I got it for.
How long ago was that?
Oh, 5 or 6 years ago. I mean, it's dead nasty and cheap, really. It's all plasticky. These pictures have been cynically put in the back when they had the first hit. It actually says on that, doesn't it? The Beatles,
yeah.
like you wouldn't know. But if you were a teenager in the early 60s, this would be a must-have item, wouldn't it?
Well, exactly. I mean, I think that's actually part of the attraction. They're very kitsch, aren't they? There's something, not naff about it, but something quite cheap and ephemera. The idea was this was designed for a short lifetime and, you know, you'd throw it away after a few years and it's gone. But now and again, things like this have survived. But I've seen talcum powder.
Yeah.
You can smell like Paul McCartney, if you like. I've seen trays, serviette rings. I mean, they had a massive spin-off, and I think they were the first band, really, to have all that merchandising.
Yeah.
You know, there were lots of collectors would go for something like this. You've got a bit of pop memorabilia, a bit of 60s kitsch. It's a dressing set. It'd make a great present for somebody. Anybody that can remember this originally, it's fantastic. It's boxed and mint, really. And how much do you say it was?
20 quid.
I'd like to stick my neck out, actually, and say 70 to 100 as an auction estimate.
Fantastic.
That sound all right to you?
Yeah, let's get those Japanese on the line and up the price. Well, that'd be a good turnaround, wouldn't it?
Fantastic, yeah. So all my loving will go into that and I'll pack it well.
Oh, get back to where you once belonged.
I do the jokes.
Oh, sorry. Right.
Let's keep looking.
So all we need is love in the room for that dresser set to do well, and that would really please me. Paul's still on the trail of some money spinners for our auction. There might not be any more pieces with musical legends attached, but he does discover these two pictures of English scenes. One is of hop picking in a Kentish garden, and the other is in a milk filling station. Liz bought them in a sale, and with any luck they could add a further £30 to £40 to our pot. Liz has so much radio and musical knowledge, but there's more to her than just the voice, you know.
Well. What have I found myself in? Your music little hidey hole, eh?
Well, this is part of it. These are the ones that I play, and then the loft is full of boxes of singles,
I bet it
vinyl, everything.
My
Yeah,
gosh.
can't part with anything.
Is music just running through your head and your mind and your life always?
Well, it has been all my life. When I was 7, I got chicken pox, and my mum and dad bought me a little red leatherette-covered record player because I couldn't play out, and I had all my singles, and I knew every word, and I've just been obsessed with it ever since. And I used to buy Fab 208 magazine, and they used to print the lyrics, and I'd learn all the lyrics, and I'd go to school, and people would say, "Shut up!" And my dad used to say, as a headmaster, used to say, "If you knew your geography as well as you knew those stupid pop lyrics, you'd do a lot better in life." Well.
But did you do well academically as well as musically?
Well, I did. I got my first O-levels when I was 13.
Whoa!
And I got my A-levels at 16, and I graduated from university at 19, so I did all right.
Good
Yeah.
gracious!
But I never really used that because my hobby was always music, and my first job was at BT.
I've got to wind back on that. You left university at 19.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is staggering. You're clearly a genius.
Well,
you obviously are.
Not
I'm not
really.
joking.
I think I've got a photographic memory. I think that really helps. You know,
Oh.
I'm a fact fan, and it helps if you can absorb them and pass exams, and that's what was my asset. But,
Absolutely. But I mean, so with all this brain power, what made you decide actually that it was music that you wanted to do?
It was kind of accidental. It was my hobby. I went to Leeds University. I got a job at BT in Leeds, and I was in a band with Carol Vorderman.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, we were neighbours. She'd just got on Countdown, and she wasn't mega famous then, and I wasn't in the media at all. But we wanted to be pop stars, and we formed a band with Miss Radio Air from the local commercial radio station.
Oh, well, that's brilliant. I love catching up with you, but we've got to catch up with the rummaging right now.
Yeah, let's make some money.
Okay.
Liz tells me that of the 26,000 people who work in the Citizens Advice Bureau, 20,000 are volunteers, all from diverse backgrounds with many different skills. She wants to raise as much money as possible, so she's decided to hunt out a gift from her father, a delicate gold brooch. The Grecians and ancient Romans used fasteners to secure their cloaks and tunics, and over the years the fashion grew for them to be decorated as pretty ornamental accessories. Our brooch is worth £20 to £30. We all give the house a final once-over, and our pop-picking expert Paul is rather excited with another musical find.
Must ask you, Liz, what a fantastic jukebox. I love these. They're great, aren't they? How long have you had this?
About 25 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's great fun, though, eh?
It's from Leeds. It was when I had my first job, and I saw an advert in the paper saying jukeboxes for sale. I went along, they were all ghastly 80s things. He said, oh, I've got one in the back, but it's dead all, you won't want it. I walked in, tried to keep cool, you know, how much do you want? He said 50 quid. So I said, I'll have it. It was just the find of my life, really.
Well, it is. I mean, these 1960s, 50s jukeboxes, I mean, they're a wonderful thing. There's nothing that really says rock and roll to me more than a jukebox.
No.
I think it's fantastic.
It's 1963, apparently,
Okay,
Rock-Ola Capri. The only thing is it needs re-chroming.
Well, I quite like that,
Yeah,
actually.
I suppose, yeah.
You know, you can see where all those rockers have put their, the cigarette ends on the end there. I mean, there's something really nice and nostalgic about it. And does it still work? It all plays
Oh,
well?
it all plays. It's valves, so you can't keep it on forever because it heats up. You have to have the old 2 bob coins in the slot. You get 2 selections, and the labels are fading a bit. I'll have to redo them, but it's fantastic, isn't it?
Well, I must admit, I mean, it's very generous of you to donate something.
No,
like
that's
this,
no, wrong.
That's not going to go.
Leave my no, never ever. But I'll tell you what, the records are fantastic as well. And somebody gave me all these because they knew I had a jukebox, but it's full up. But I mean, there's all sorts in here. The Kinks, Del Shannon, Cilla Black, the Beatles. There's about 6 Beatles records. Right. All sorts of stuff. Johnny Cash. I mean, do you think these are go auction?
Well, you mentioned a few household names there, really, haven't you? Let's just have a quick look. I mean, these are the old 45s. I mean, my nephew asked what one of these was the other day, because everything's CDs nowadays. I mean, this really is the golden age of vinyl. I mean, were you a big vinyl collector?
Oh, yeah. My first records when I was 7 were free with Weetabix. They were psychedelic colours. I wish I still had them. What's that one, then?
This one's Bits and Pieces by Dave Clark 5.
Classic.
But what was wonderful, when they manufactured, they made them with the jukebox in mind.
Yeah.
Because they had this little star in the middle where you could just poke that out and you could put them into it until the jukebox could put them on. And they're fantastic. This is vinyl, developed in the late 1940s. Before it was shellac, the substance before. It was very, very brittle, the old 78s. And these are a 45, which means it has 45 revs per minute. That's the speed they go on. But fantastic, big collecting area. But you sure you don't need these for this particular jukebox?
No, I've got loads, and there's sleeves in there. They need matching up. Some of the old sleeves are in there, but they all need putting together.
Okay, it's a bit of work,
yeah.
So that's a real collection. I mean, somebody who has a jukebox or somebody just into vinyl, it's a wonderful bit of history there, isn't there? But if I said around the £30 mark?
Well, hopefully there'll be a gem in there that we haven't spotted, and that'll be worth that in its own right, because some singles are.
Well, that's it. Let's hope so. How are you two? All right?
You found something else to take?
I found some records for £30.
Oh, wonderful. I thought you were sending the jukebox.
No!
Never! That would have been very nice.
You're not going to get the jukebox.
Oh, so at the start of the day, we said £300 to £400 would be great for your charity. Okay, well, we reckon, based on Paul's lowest estimates, if everything goes to plan at the auction, you should make £440.
Ooh,
okay.
Great.
Come on. We want more.
Well, you never know. We might just make a whole lot more on the day. Liz's chart toppers for the auction include this Beatles dresser set she bought at a boot sale. If we get a few Fab Four fans in the room, then I'm sure it'll beat its £70 to £100 estimate. And the caricature of Liz that she's not so keen on. She's added a Radio 1 rugby shirt to the lot. Let's hope it reaches its £50 to £80 valuation. That fabulous collectible Thunderbirds car comes with the signed Yes M'Lady Sylvia Anderson book. At £100 to £150, it should get pulses racing. Still to come on Cash in the Celebrity Attic, Liz can't resist ribbing Paul when a vintage single sells well.
Were you right that time?
I think I was, Liz.
Oh, let's face it, it's the first time you have been.
And is she back to her turntable smashing ways?
Come on, am I going to bang this piece of wood on this glass counter? Any advance on £100?
Will she reach that £300 target? Find out when the hammer falls.
Well, I always thought DJs would have loads of stories to tell, and Liz Kershaw certainly didn't disappoint me. And today we brought all the things we found at her home in Northamptonshire here to Cuttlestone's auctioneers at Penkridge near Stafford. Now, you remember that Liz wants to raise at least £300 for her chosen cause, and that's the Citizens Advice Bureau. So let's hope the bidders here are feeling really generous when her items go under the hammer.
This is our first visit to this very pretty village in Staffordshire, and I'm pleased to see the auction room getting busy with lots of people taking a good look at the antiques and collectibles on offer. But our expert, Paul, has eyes only for one little lady.
Good morning.
Good morning, my lady.
Oh, I should understand that, but I just never a fan of Thunderbirds. What's the matter with me?
Oh, I don't know what is the matter with you, actually. I mean, I think anybody that grew up in the 1960s, I think is... Did I point at you then for you?
Yeah.
But that's the sort of thing that people tended to watch. It's a fantastic show. It has a massive interest now. And we have a signed first edition book to go with it.
Yeah, it's going to be good,
great?
isn't it? Yeah, absolutely fantastic. If anyone's got a birthday or anything coming up, it'd be perfect, wouldn't it?
Exactly, yeah. And it's the sort of thing I've had a word with the auctioneer, and there is a bit of interest in it. I can't say too much, but hopefully it could do quite well.
Can't say too much. Go on, say it.
No, of course, my lips are sealed, but hopefully it could do quite well.
Has word gone out that, we've got some nice pieces?
Yeah, I mean, the auction room has really done their homework here. They've put a big press release out to say that Liz is coming, so that's great for us.
That is
Fantastic.
exactly what we want.
Exactly, yes.
Let's go see if she's arrived.
Come on in.
Well, Paul has high expectations for that Thunderbirds car, and it's always good to know that the auction house has put out a good word, drumming up interest for our antiques. I hope Liz is feeling as optimistic about the day ahead.
Oh, hello. Hello. I just found us fingering through the stuff.
Yes, I know, your lovely, lovely caricature.
Well, if that's the adjective you want.
I think it's a real accolade to have something like that.
Yeah, I think love is all around, I think, Liz. But I noticed you brought your rubby top to go with it.
That's it, look at that. Yeah.
There we are, as seen on Radio 1, isn't that amazing?
Yes.
That is good.
Still a hair on it.
That adds
Hair and makeup.
authenticity.
You get my DNA as well, you see.
That is
So I
fantastic.
think that's really going to help, actually, because it's a fantastic time, remember, such a poignant story at the time, so I think that could do quite well today.
Look, Linda, I know she's a great collector. Is she going to keep her hands in her pockets?
Well, she's already been round here once today, and there's, I think she's racked up about £500 already, so on a few items, so I'll have to just keep an eye on her, I think.
Notionally, I've spent about £500 in my mind, but you must stop me.
Focus. We're here to sell.
That's right.
That's right.
Raise money for your cause.
That's right.
Fantastic. Well, do you know what? I think it's going to be fab. I think the whole thing today, the Thunderbirds car's going to be great. Come on,
Keep up.
let's get some fresh jokes.
Okay, cool then.
As we make our way to our corner of the sale room, the auctioneer is getting ready to sell our first lot. It's the gold brooch that Liz's father bought her. It's valued at £20 to £30.
Liz, how are you feeling about parting with this brooch? It's gold-plated, and where did it come from?
Well, it was a present from New Zealand. My dad went over to visit our long-lost relatives and he brought it back for me. I've never worn it. I'll never will wear it because I'm not a brooch person. This is as good a day as any to get rid of it for a good cause.
£10 only bid at £10 bid at 12, 14. 14 unbid on my right at 14. Who says 16 quickly? At £14 only bid, are we 16? We're selling and no mistake. 16, front row I have at 16. You're out on the right at 16. 18 quickly. 16, so 18. Thank you, sir. 20, 20, 22. No, 22's on my right. At £22, web or not, on the right we sell there at £22.
Hey, thank you. It's above your estimate there.
It is £2 above there.
Doing well.
Well, it's early days, but that's a solid start. Remember, we're hoping to make £300 for the Citizens Advice Bureau, so I'm hoping everything will sell. Next is the 1950s doll's house kitchen dresser that Liz and Linda got all nostalgic about. It's a shame it's not part of a larger collection, but it's valued at £20 to £50.
OK, now we're selling your kitchen dresser now. Not the massive kitchen dresser, a little doll's house one. Remember this one?
I do remember.
Yeah, she's never stopped crying.
At £10. At £10 will be 12 and not quickly. I think we're going to have to pass. 12 I have standing bid.
Oh, we were going to buy it.
At £12, and we're going to sell it, I think, no mistake. All done. It sounds very low, but it goes at £12.
Oh, I'm going to let it go at 12.
Oh, you said it'd go for more than that, Paul. I had faith in you. I would have put it in if you'd told me that.
That's £8 under the lower estimate, and Paul's in the doghouse. But can the sale of this Caldon Pottery tea set for 4 take the pressure off?
At £22.
It does, selling for £2 over its £20 estimate. Well, that's not bad, and at least it's all going, which means we're slowly but surely getting closer to our £300 target. £56 down and another £244 to go. This next item is fabulously kitsch in its own quirky way. It's that prized Jack and Vera Duckworth single. Liz had Bill Tarmy and Liz Dawn sign it when they were in the studio promoting their 1989 pop song, I'll Be With You Soon. Paul valued it at £40 to £60, so we need fans of Coronation Street to step in and push up the price.
OK, there's a bit of pop memorabilia now. This is Jack and Vera, they're a legend, those two.
Well, that's true. And on my time on the radio in the last 20 odd years, I've been given a lot of records and signed ones. And Jack and Vera from Coronation Street, Liz Dawn and Bill Tarmy came on the show and they went, hey, kid, you're a smashing kid. We're going to sign this for you, kid. And they gave it to me. And I had it framed in a gilt frame, which I thought was appropriate, with a purple velvet background.
Of course, yeah.
I can't believe you lot picked this up.
Where do we start? £30. At £30 on bid on the poster there, at £30 only bid at £30. Who says 32? 32, thank you. At 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. 40 I have. Gentlemen in the hat at £40. Are we two now? It's here to sell. At 40. Gosh. Two or not quickly. At £40, the bid is on my left and I will sell. All done there. At £40. Yes, sir.
There we go.
There is no accounting for taste. Well, thank you, Jack and Vera.
That's brilliant. That's exactly what Paul said.
Yeah, were you right that time?
Yeah.
Go on, Liz, thank you.
Let's face it, it's the first time you have been.
Well, she's really giving Paul a hard time today, but she's only having a laugh. Next up, it's our collection of single records. Vintage names in the box include Del Shannon, Cilla Black and the Dave Clark 5. With a value of £30 to £50, let's hope they appeal to the music lovers in the room.
£28.
So that's £2 under the lower estimate. Not really the sale I'd hoped for, but we can't complain. We're nearing the end of the first half of the sale, and up next is the 1960s 12-piece melamine tea set that brings back great memories for Liz.
OK, so it's a bit of 60s memorabilia here, but this time not pop-related. This is your melamine tea service. Now, where's this been?
Well, it's plastic by another name, isn't it? And it was all the rage in the 60s, especially if you were caravanners, because it didn't break when you were driving up through the Dales and it was all rattling around. And then when you got there, you had your cup of tea. But the trouble with it was, every so often it would stain very badly. And my mum had to soak it in bleach. So the next time you went on your holidays, all your tea tasted of bleach. Oh, memories, memories.
Oh, yes.
So do you reckon it's worth £20?
Must be.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I think it's stylised, isn't it? It's 60s style, so it's quite collectible in that way, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of thing you see Austin Powers would use, wouldn't it?
Groovy, baby.
At £10, who's going to say off age 12? Thank you, madam, at £12. At £12 only bid on the tea set at 14. Now we're off. 16. I bid £16 in front at 16. Are we 18 quickly? It's here to sell. At £16, 18 not selling at £16.
Oh, what did you say?
20 to 30. Liz.
Oh, you're not far off.
For a moment there, I thought Paul was in for another roasting, but it wasn't far off his lower estimate of £20, so I think Liz is prepared to let that one go. So how have we done so far?
All right, well, at the start of the day, we were hoping for at least £300 for your charity. Well, I can tell you so far, actually, we've made 140.
Oh, right. Oh, that's better than I thought. I was getting a bit humiliated, but I feel better now. Yes, right. It's humiliating when people don't want your junk.
I know. Well, I think we deserve a cuppa, eh?
Well, you have a coffee, because actually I'm going to have a look round. You know what I'm like?
Incorrigible.
I knew it wouldn't take long. An auction house is just too tempting a place to be when you love buying. Now, if you're planning on going to auction, remember that charges such as commission apply whether you're buying or selling. Your local sale room will be able to give you all the details. We return hoping that Beatles fans are filling the room to fight over our next item. It's the original Beatles dressing table set that Liz bought at a boot sale. Paul reckons it could fetch £70 to £100.
I'm really excited to see how this does. You found this one, didn't you, together, the Beatles dressing set?
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, this is, I put this in at quite a lot of money, £70, but it is a real piece of Beatles memorabilia. Fantastic. What an unusual item to have.
I've never seen one like it, and somebody looked on the internet, and there's lots of Beatles merchandise from the time. They were ahead of the time with that, but they couldn't find a like item. So, I mean, Beatles toy guitars and plastic wigs, which we had when we were kids, they go for a fortune. Shampoo, anything.
£40 bid at £40. At 42, 45, 48, 50.
This is doing
Bid with me at £50 at £50. 5 now, surely. 5 in the room. 60, sir. 60. 5. 70. 5. I have 75 in the doorway at 75. 80 now. My commission is out too. At 75, the bid's in the doorway. 80 quickly, we shall sell. All done at £75.
Oh, well done. Yeah, that's good. I paid 20 quid for it. 20 quid.
Well done.
Yeah, that's good return.
Liz is really happy with that result, and with a profit of £55, so she should be. And when the 2 pictures of English scenes are shown to the room,
£34. 17.20.
they hit the middle of their £30 to £40 estimate. But will Liz's Swiss cuckoo clock, valued at £40 to £60, do equally well?
At £36 and sold at 36.
And up next, it's the caricature of Liz that was drawn for Smash Hits magazine in the 90s. Liz had smashed up the radio station's record deck when the band Wet 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 didn't turn up for an interview.
OK, Liz, we're going to sell the caricature now and the Radio 1 shirt. Would you go up and auction for us?
Do you think it'd help?
I really do, don't you?
I really do, yeah, especially if you can tell that story about how it came
Okay.
Yeah?
I'll just be so embarrassed if this is a non-sale. Because of all the pictures in my house, you picked this out.
I know.
So, well, I can't see that. It's of sentimental value to me, but I can't see anybody else would want to hang it on the wall.
No,
but I'll do my
you've got
best.
to have positive thoughts.
Yes.
Positive thoughts.
Okay, I'll do my best.
OK, off you go.
Okay. I've thrown in the rugby shirt that I was wearing in the picture. Now, the rugby shirt is from 1990, 1991, and it was when medium wave, I'm sure you'll all remember that, became FM. It was a very big thing at the time. There's only about 25 of these rugby shirts because they were given to Radio 1 DJs. So I had one, Simon Bates had one, Anne Nightingale had one, Gary Davis. But it's one of a very limited number. So it's got sentimental value for me, but I thought it'd help shift the picture. It still fits me, so if you want to wear it, it's about my size. And who'll start the bidding at £20? Oh, do I do this, or do you?
You carry on, carry on.
Who'll start the bidding at £20 for an original caricature, framed, and a rugby shirt? Oh, I have £20 there, thank you, sir. Any advance on £20? Right, £30, £40, madam. Thank you very much. You don't want to take it home. Yeah.
Another one over here, look.
Be careful putting your hand up.
50 on the phone. £50. Any more in the room? £60 over there. It's unique. This rugby shirt. Only one of 25. 70 on the phone. £80. Anybody? £80. Come on.
Yes.
£80 in the room.
Yes.
£80. Well, this gentleman over here.
Yes.
That's just fabulous, sir, and it's all for charity. Smashing nice, you would say. Come on then, great mate. Who's got £90? Let's get this up to a ton for charity. BBC memorabilia, unique, £90. Anybody in the room? £90 on the phone. £90 over there. Come on, let's make it 100. Let's have a hero in the room. £100 for Citizens Advice Bureau. £100. Thank you, Hillary! Come on, am I going to bang this piece of wood on this glass counter? Any advance on £100? At £100. Going once. I'm good at this bit. Going twice. Going 3 times. Sold! Yay! Woo! Oh!
That's excellent. She's a natural, isn't she?
Well, she certainly did a great job as an auctioneer. but I did wonder if it was a good idea to let her have a hammer.
The thing that's kept me awake at night since she came around to my house was who would want this scribbly picture of me? And I just couldn't believe that anybody would bid for it. So I was thrilled. I was thinking it'd be sad to let it go for less than 50 quid with the rugby shirt, which again was unique. But 100 quid? Fantastic. Shake that man's hand.
Well, there's an awful lot riding on our final item. Let's hope it's FAB.
OK, it's the big one. It's the Thunderbird moment, and we want a lot of money for this. Are you sure you're going to part with it?
Well, Jenny, if we don't get a lot for this, it will be a real disaster, worthy of international rescue. So let's hope so.
I think she's going to stay in character for the rest of the...
I've always loved Lady Penelope.
At 65, 70, 5, 80, 5, 90, 5, 100. 110, I'm out at 110. At 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180, 190, 200. I have 200 in the centre at 200. Nice. Who says 210?
Yes, come on.
£200, 10 and up quickly. The bid is 200, we sell. There's 2 autographs on it. Could be 3 if Liz signed it as well. Selling there at £200. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
That's excellent.
FAB. Yeah, that was FAB. Well done, Thunderbirds.
Lady Liz is as pleased as punch. That sale doubled Paul's lower estimate and has bumped up the takings considerably. But by how much?
Well, at the start of the day, you said £300 to £400 would be great for your charity, the Citizens Advice Bureau. You've made £585.
That's really good. Yeah, well really done. Good. No, it's good. That's good.
Yeah, it is.
Very worthwhile. And we've had such a good time as well, haven't we, Linda?
It's been fab.
Yeah. And as you know, there's loads more where that came from. So if you guys want to come round next week and do it all again.
Well, why not? I'd buy that. We had a lovely time.
Can we have a sit down first, please? Have a chat.
The £585 made at auction will help the National Association of Citizens Advice Bureau support its thousands of volunteers who help people seek all sorts of legal and financial advice.
Probably any sort of problem that you can think about, we've probably got some sort of help or information that we can give you. And if we haven't, we know somebody that can.
The money will be put towards training and new equipment, and Liz is happy for it to be distributed however the CAB sees fit.
It's manned mainly by volunteers, and I know those people there are really earnest and do a great job, and just do what you want with it, guys. I hope it helps.